Do y'all remember when Angela Hall said that I look like I needed Optavia? We're gonna take it back. She posted this live. We have a lot to talk about. Let's get into it. What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Erin Bies. I am a certified personal trainer and a fitness nutrition specialist, and I spent 13 and a half years in multi-level marketing, healed my way out, and now I'm really excited to be here with you today because Angela Hall posted this live, and we have a lot to talk about. So I'm not going to run my mouth a whole lot with this intro. Let's just get into what Angela said. Before we do, though, let me just tell you, Optavia is a multi-level marketing company where they try to sell people on their 5-in-1 plan. They have other plans, but the 5-in-1 is the most popular, and they try to get people to eat 800 to 1,000 calories. In my opinion, as a fitness nutrition specialist and a certified personal trainer through ACE, working on my precision nutrition level 1 certification as well. In my opinion, Optavia puts people on a road to have a terrible relationship with food, fear certain foods, mainly carbs, eating very inadequately as far as the amount of calories that they're taking in every single day. And that is dangerous because when you are extremely restrictive, also, this should probably be a content warning, FYI. Also, if you're extremely restrictive, what's going to happen is you're going to be more likely to binge because you are restricting food groups, or you're not including all the foods, unless you have obviously an allergy or something along those lines. So, and that's what we're going to see today from Angela Hall, who thinks that she can coach people through food addiction in Optavia. Anyways, let's get into it, shall we?
Hello, Facebook. Oh my gosh, it's been a while since I've done a live, and I just wanted to come on here and talk about the struggle is real, guys. Like I've talked to so many people over the last 24 hours about how hard it is to get your...
The fact that she has a shirt that says metabolic reset coach it's sending me. I don't know how else to say that. What exactly is a metabolic reset coach? Oh, that's code word for Optavia.
Life back. It is the hardest thing that you will ever do, is getting your health back under control. I mean, like, if everybody could get healthy, the whole world would be healthy. Like 9 out of 10 people are currently struggling with metabolic dysfunction. 232 million people are overweight and obese. And guys, if it was easy, we wouldn't be in the predicament that we're in the United States. But I just...
Let me speak on this for just a second, as somebody with the credentials to speak on this, as somebody that is currently in a calorie deficit, and probably by the time this video is published publicly, I'll be down well over 20 pounds since January of this year. When we are talking about, on the very basic level of weight loss, it is boring and it is monotonous. It is. If there's all medical, I don't want to say interferences, but I don't know, medical factors, I guess, contributing factors that make weight loss difficult. For example, if you're on certain medications, things of that nature. The very, very basics of weight loss, of fat loss, is to be in a calorie deficit. That's the very basics. Are there other factors that can impact that and make it more difficult? Absolutely. These people think very black and white when it comes to weight loss. And in my opinion, they tap dance right on the line. You know, what is that line? That line is they are so close to losing control because they are white knuckling what they are eating. You can see it. I can see it. I can see it on Angela. I want Angela to get away from Optavia. I want Angela to have a great relationship with food. I want her to incorporate the things that she's denying herself from. And we're going to see that here shortly. So prepare yourself for that. I want her to have all these things. Food freedom and being able to incorporate all kinds of foods is so freeing. And you can do all of that in a calorie deficit as well.
I just want to come on here and talk about the struggle being real. Like, I'm down over 100 pounds, and I lost 80 pounds in 7 months back in 2019. A lot of you guys know my story. I maintained that weight loss. In 2022, I lost my oldest son in a motorcycle accident.
Why do we need to know all this? Why? And she's going to go into some trauma dumping here. Why do we need to know this? It's almost like she's trying to get people to compare, well, I'm going through a hard time in my life. She's like, oh, well, I've been through a hard time in my life. And, I'm not letting that be an excuse. It is weird. This is weird.
And it literally wrecked me. And then 3 months later, during the biggest grief of my life, my brother was hit by a semi on his motorcycle, lost his left leg, and was in ICU for some.
I mean, all of this is awful. But why do we have to have this in this video where she's pitching Optavia? Angela, this is weird.
Months, and he is still healing and recovering today. And so I get how hard it is. It took me a long time to get myself reeled back in and back on track. And I'm so thankful for the habits that I learned and the mindset that I learned all these habits so that I wouldn't gain all of my weight back. Yes.
Those habits that she's learned over the years, they're really serving her well. Am I being sarcastic? Yes. In this particular point, on this particular point, yes, absolutely, I'm being sarcastic. If you are gonna say that you are a metabolic reset coach and you're somebody that is in Optavia, a multi-level marketing company that coaches people to take in 800 to 1,000 calories a day, and people cycle on and off of it because it is extremely restrictive, and then they gain weight and then they gain more weight because they don't understand how to properly fuel their body. Oh, but you're getting the commission off of that. So you want them to cycle on and off and eat these processed fuelings from Optavia. This is absurd to me. It is absurd. Yeah, that's all I got here.
I gained some of my weight back, but I think staying in the game and staying connected to my community and staying connected to my clients and my coaches was a game changer, because as I'm speaking life into other people every single day, I'm speaking to myself every single day too. So if I'm telling you, like, you can't eat cake, and I'm over here eating cake, then I'm not congruent to what I'm teaching people.
Okay, let's talk about this. There's nothing wrong with having a slice of cake. There's nothing wrong with having something that you're craving. And this may upset some people. You can do that even being in a calorie deficit. This is an example of all or nothing thinking. This is very black and white. This is very restrictive in my opinion. And you don't have to be this way. If you want to have a piece of cake, or you want to have, a serving of cookies or whatever, you can have that stuff and still lose weight. You can have that stuff and still maintain your weight. You can have that stuff and also gain weight, because it comes down to the calories. It comes down to what you are taking in, what you are burning. That is how that works. So when you have somebody like Angela, and this is not me picking on Angela, this is me saying this is what people in Optavia do. This is how they are coaching their people. People are fearing foods. And Angela's going to give us a perfect example of how that happens. She's going to give us a perfect example. And keep in mind, we don't all have it figured out, right? That's okay. This is a process. Be kind to yourself. But when you're trying to pitch somebody on a multi-level marketing company and you yourself are having major issues with restrictive eating, I feel like that's a red flag. I don't know. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments.
And so my coach called me higher in January, and I, now I've got my life completely under control. But even as a coach that is at a healthy weight and getting my life under control and really fighting, I have to fight every single day for my health, because the enemy will always, if he can get a foothold,
I'm sorry. What do you mean, the enemy? Do you think for 1 second that food is a spiritual battle? You mean to tell me that if you can't drive past Dairy Queen, which I'm saying that specifically because she's going to talk about that here in a second. You mean to tell me that if you can't drive past Dairy Queen and not stop and get something, which I don't think there's anything wrong with Dairy Queen, let me be clear on that. But if you're going to present it this way and you're going to act like that's the devil that is like, drive, go get this. What? You don't think the devil, if you believe in that or whatever, you don't think he's got other things he's trying to do? This is absurd to me.
He'll kick the door in, and I've said this a million times to people. And I just want to talk about the food and sugar addiction, how it is worse than a drug addiction.
And here's the thing, Angela, you're not qualified to help people with food addictions. You're not qualified to help people with addictions. I'm not qualified to help people with addictions. That's something that I would outsource to a professional that can handle helping people with addictions. So you mean to tell me you're going to act like you can coach people that are struggling with these real issues? You're going to sell them a restrictive eating plan and processed fuelings from Optavia as if you're helping somebody in addiction? I can't.
People are like, oh, everything's okay in moderation. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
You wouldn't tell a drug addict that it's okay to have cocaine every once in a while. You wouldn't tell an alcoholic it's okay to have a shot or a drink every once in a while. I'm not going to tell my sugar addicts it's okay to have a donut every now and then, because no, that is what is keeping them stuck and inflamed and in pain, and it's killing them.
I'm going to reiterate the point that I already made. She's not qualified to be coaching anybody with a food addiction. That is something that people need to seek medical professionals that are credentialed to be able to help them with that. And in fact, I would venture to say that this is probably harming those people more than it's helping. But hey, Angela's making commission off of them, so I guess she's okay with that. This is such a problem. For most people that aren't dealing with food addiction, everything in moderation is absolutely okay. So yeah, you can have those things and you can still lose weight or maintain your weight or gain weight, whatever your goals are. You can include everything. I want to scream from the rooftops when I hear people say stuff like this. No, it's not everything in moderation. Yes, it is. Unless medically you have something going on, or the food addiction that Angela's mentioned, or you have allergies to certain foods. All things in moderation.
Literally killing them. And people think, oh, it's like, no, I don't want to change. I like my donuts. I like my carbs. I like all this. I like all that. But they don't realize what they're putting their family through when they actually have a premature death or a heart attack or fatty liver or A1C levels that are high, or, you know, whatever the case is, and that you don't think about your family when you're dealing with all of these things. And to me, that's just, you know, I've had family being taken from me way too soon, and I don't want to be a burden to my son. I don't want to be a burden to my family because I didn't take care of myself. But I still struggle every single day with.
Okay, so she herself is still struggling, and we're going to get into this. But the fact that she is going to use this to try to shame people into partnering with her and Optavia is disgusting. Nobody wants to be a burden on their family. God, this is disgusting. And this is what we see in multi-level marketing. This is the kind of rhetoric that we see from people trying to sell you something that you don't need. Imagine if you actually had a great relationship with food. Imagine if you could actually drive by Dairy Queen and have something and enjoy it and not feel guilty and not feel like, oh my God, I'm going to work this off tomorrow. You don't need to earn food. You do not need to earn food. There's no moral value to food. Oh,
food addiction. You know, 3 weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago, I got into the 130s. I got to 137, which was the lowest that I had ever weighed. And I'm not chasing skinny, I'm chasing healthy, and I'm looking for all green on my scale. And 2 weeks ago, I had sugar touch my lips. I was like, I have come so far that I deserve to have a Dairy Queen. That's my vice. If you guys, you know, you guys might have another vice, but my vice is Dairy Queen. And I'm.
See, now this should be a sign here. You don't have to earn food. Remember what I just said? And she's like, I feel like I've been doing well and I deserve this. If you want to have something, you should be able to have it. But somebody that is in a restrictive eating mindset, like what we're seeing here, they're going to try and say, well, I deserve this. I've worked really hard at the gym, or I've done this or that. If you want to have something, have a serving of it. These should be red flags. And I hope people that are watching Angela or any other MLMer that is giving advice like this when it comes to nutrition, when they clearly have no idea what they're talking about, I hope they see these as red flags.
I'm a firm believer that when I get to heaven, that Dairy Queen is going to have no sugar and no calories.
I don't think, I know she's probably trying to be funny there, but I think you're not going to care about that when you're no longer alive. I don't know. Just my opinion.
But I had that Dairy Queen, and I didn't just have one. I had two. I had two small Dairy Queens and an ice cream cone. And let me tell you, I ate it all.
Now, why? Because She's in a restrictive diet. She's going to talk about how this led to a binge here in just a second. So content warning for that. I mean, this whole video, content warning, because that's what we're talking about today, you know? If you allowed yourself to have stuff, you're not putting yourself in this position where you're just going to eat everything and you think, oh, well, I've already had that, so I might as well continue having it. You would be able to enjoy a serving of something, whatever you're wanting, aside from allergies and things like that, and be able to enjoy it without guilt. And this is somebody that's supposed to be helping people. God, I really want to riot. This kind of stuff pisses me off.
And then you know what? That started a binge. That started a binge for me. And at 8 o'clock that night, I got in my car. I left my home. I went to 7-Eleven and I got a bag of caramel corn. I got pistachios and I got Twizzlers and I ate them all.
What's wrong with pistachios? That's a good source of fat.
The next morning, I was up 3 pounds. And I had to own that. I had to.
Yeah. And you know why you were up 3 pounds? Because you took in a lot of glucose. Your body said, hey, we're going to store all this. We're going to turn it into glycogen to store it. And with that comes water. So when your body is like, hey, we're moving our body, or, you know, we've got some activity going here and our blood glucose is dropping. Let's break down this glycogen. Let's turn it into energy. Let's get this glucose into the system, into the bloodstream, and let's use this to get to the muscles and do all the things that we're doing. This is somebody that does not understand their own body. And there are so many people out there that do not understand. If you have a glucose heavy, a carb heavy meal, and then the scale is up, chances are that's probably from storing the glucose and storing it as glycogen. And with that comes water.
Call my coach and say, I just had a binge. I haven't had a binge in months. And I realized that stuff still cannot touch my lips. Guys, that binge cost me 2 weeks on my plan. 2 weeks. And people wonder why they're stuck in this rat race and they can't ever get off the hamster wheel.
They're stuck in this rat race because they listen to people like Angela. They're stuck in this rat race because they think that weight loss is, you know, it should be a constant decline. And that's not how it works. Your body is constantly telling you what's going on, how you're sleeping, how your mood is, your macros, your calories that you're taking in. All of these things are your body is telling you all of these things, how you're feeling, how you're performing. If you are somebody that lifts weights or you do any kind of, you know, physical activity, strength training, cardio, walking, stuff like that, your body is constantly telling you these things. And the scale is such a powerful tool, but when you are only focusing in on a number and you're expecting that number to always be the same, you're setting yourself up for failure because that is a data point. But the most powerful thing that you can do is to understand how to fuel your body and to understand that the scale is a data point. And instead of focusing on just a couple of days or a couple of weeks, like what she's talking about here, look at the big picture. What is your body telling you? Sometimes you're in weight loss. Sometimes your weight's going to be up and then it's going to drop. Sometimes it moves like this. It's not this. I know I'm wording that really weird, but the focusing on the scale, especially for women, is such I want to say pain point, but I don't know if that's the right word that I want to use. It is a data point. Look at what your calories look like. Look at what your macros look like. We have to measure things in order to identify the patterns and remove the emotional weight. It's a data point. It's information. And we need to look at that information over time. And I know not everybody wants to, and that's okay. It's based on your goals. Oh man.
Because that's what happens. If the enemy can get you to have sugar, it's over. It's over. And then you find yourself in a binge and you find yourself 3 or 4 days or weeks later going,
only if you're eating in a restrictive way.
Man, if I would have just said no right now, I would still be okay. And so I had that same thing happen to me yesterday. I was just actually talking to a coach a little bit ago about this, you know, and it's like we have to put up guardrails. And so I was driving to a massage yesterday and I drive right past Dairy Queen. And I'm telling you that Dairy Queen, like I was like, you don't see it, you don't see it, you don't see it. Keep driving, you don't see it, you don't see it. And I kept driving. I went and had my massage. On my way home, I stopped at Wawa to get my ice that I love to chew on because it's like, you know, it doesn't jack up your teeth. So I stopped there and I was like, you know what? I weighed in yesterday, finally back at the 137 that I had got to 2 weeks ago. And I was like, you know what? I have never been this healthy in my life.
Okay, I just have a question for you guys. Based on everything that she has told us, specifically around her relationship with food, does any of this sound healthy to you guys? Just your opinion, just my opinion. You know, a couple people sharing their opinions on the internet. Because for me, this doesn't sound healthy. This sounds horrific, honestly. This sounds, I don't know. I mean, you can't even drive by Dairy Queen without saying, you know what, that sounds good. Maybe I'll get a massage and then I'll get myself some Dairy Queen and go home. What?
This, like if I have a small Dairy Queen, like I'll be okay by Monday. So when I weigh in with my coach again, I'll be back down to where I need to be and maybe have lost, a half a pound. And I was literally in the turn lane to go back to Dairy Queen. And I started to think, I was like, you know what? No, Angie, no. Like you are coaching other clients on facing a sugar and food addiction. You can't do this. Like, what are you doing? You're going to sabotage yourself and you're going to set yourself back 2 weeks. And so I had to have that battle with myself. And I was like, you know what? No, not right now. I am so close to the finish line of being able to transition off of this program. And I'm like, no. So I got in the other lane and I came home and I did not go to Dairy Queen. And I was so proud of myself because I didn't lean into the addiction that was so strong. Like it was like it's.
See, I just feel like this is somebody, or this circumstance is something where somebody like this should speak with a therapist that specializes in food addiction, because I feel like this could be so multifaceted. And sure, I can help people with how to build a complete plate and things like that, but like this is something that I would outsource because there's, in my opinion, deeper things that are outside of my scope here. I'm glad she's talking about this, but not for the reasons that I think she's talking about it, because it's a perfect showcase of how not to do things. It's a perfect showcase of problematic relationships with food. It's a perfect showcase, in my opinion, of having a terrible relationship with the data points that come from a scale.
Okay, it's just a little bit. Nobody will know. It's just like when I had a drug addiction, nobody would know that I was doing cocaine after I got off work. Nobody knew. It wasn't hurting anybody, but it was killing me. And it was going to kill me prematurely for my family. And so I knew I just couldn't do it. So I came home.
So she went from one addiction to another, and she thinks that being on a restrictive diet is going to help her. Do y'all see what I'm saying here? Like this seems so problematic for so many reasons. And I want her to be healthy, but they always use that as like a code word for people to get on Optavia. So I don't want to say that, but I don't know exactly how else to word that.
I worked all afternoon on my taxes, and so I was busy and I wasn't focused on anything. And I was so proud of myself when I got up this morning. I was down to 136, guys. My goal is 135, and I was down to 136. And I was looking through my scale numbers because I've been pushing for everything to be green. My weight is still red, but everything else is green. And I scroll down and I see this blue number today, and I'm like, blue? What does blue mean? What did I do? I've been working so hard. And I go and I scroll down and I look at the blue, and I'm like, oh my gosh, blue is ultra health.
What was blue? Notice how she's not mentioning what part of the information from her scale was blue. And maybe she will. Maybe I paused it too soon. But I think that would be really important to mention what area is blue.
And my subcutaneous fat, the fat that you see on the outside.
Subcutaneous. You mean subcutaneous? I paused it too soon, but here we are.
Side of your body, I was down to a blue number instead of not red, not green. Now I'm in the blue. And so it was my reward. It was like, girl.
That's fantastic. I love that for her. What does your lean muscle mass look like? What does your bone density look like? How are you performing in the gym? Are you strength training? I have so many questions.
You said no to that food addiction that's going to either feed your disease or it's going to fuel your future. And I am so glad that I have a coach and a community and the mindset to push past those addictions and say, no, the addiction is not going to control me. I don't need the Dairy Queen right now. And so my reward this morning was that I was down almost another pound from just yesterday, and my subcutaneous fat was in the blue. And so to protect
subcutaneous. Okay.
To myself, this is what I did. So I made some healthy ice cream. So I don't have anything unhealthy in my fridge ever. You know, I've got vegetables and fruit, or I'm sorry, sugar-free popsicles, vegetables. And then I made 3 ice creams with my Ninja Creamy, which this thing, I'll tell you right now, is a freaking lifesaver. If you don't have one, get one. All I do is I made my own ice cream with my healthy protein. And now tomorrow when I get home, I can blend myself up some ice cream and I can stay on plan and I can stay focused on my goals. And I haven't made ice cream in a long time. It's probably been 3 months since I made ice cream. And so I took the brownie, I made an ice cream. I took a vanilla shake, I made ice cream.
Oh my God. She's taking Optavia fuelings and turning it into ice cream. Oh God, that's horrific. Oh my God.
Setting myself up to win, and the addiction is not going to control me. But I want you to know, even as a coach, you still struggle. That is why we have to put people around us that are going in the same direction. And I have talked to so many clients that they're proud of themselves. I'm proud of them. But I love absolutely talking with clients that are like, it's so nice to work with a coach that is still on her journey, that she pushes through, that she has hard times, that she has faced so many hard things and continues to get up. You may get knocked off course and get thrown all the way to the other side of the earth, but all you got to do is get back up. You know, if you eat a whole pizza, 2.5 hours later, eat your next fueling, get right back down, right back up. It's like quick down, quick up.
Or you could incorporate pizza into what you would like to eat in a day and not feel guilty about it and still track it if you're somebody that tracks. By the way, I don't have an affiliate link or anything like this, but I feel like it's an important tool that I use myself, and maybe it'll help you. But I use an app to track my macros called Macro Factor. I've been using it since April of 2025. If you are looking for a way to track everything, and there's options on the app where you don't have to weigh food. You could take a picture, and it does use AI to help you identify and estimate the macros on what you were eating. And it's a way that if you have, I don't want to say trauma, but I don't know what else I want to call that, specifically around weighing food, tracking food, this might be a good option for you to start understanding rather than going right into weighing every little thing. Maybe just take pictures and put it on that app and check it out. Again, not sponsored, but hopefully it's a tool that people can use to start understanding how to fuel their body, how to track it in a safe and healthy way. And if you're somebody that does like to track and weigh and all of that good stuff, it's something that I use every single day. So check it out if you would like to. Again, it's called Macro Factor. I know it's on Apple, and I think it's also on Android, but I'm not really sure. Check your app store for more information. Macro Factor, though, I would love to work with y'all because I've been using this app for a year now, and it's been pretty significant in helping me understand everything. So, let me know.
Quick down, quick up. And that's how we win. It is not a straight line. We're not just going to wake up healthy one day. It is a fight. It is a struggle. I always tell people the hardest thing you will ever do, the most weight you'll ever lose is right here, right between your ears. That's the hardest battle right there. The food is easy. Like, we just open and eat. We open and eat, and we make our lean and green, and we learn how to cook healthy meals for ourselves to sustain us for life. But it's so simple to do the food part. But if you do not...
I can't imagine telling my clients, my personal training clients, and people that are reaching out for nutrition guidance, I can't believe, or I can't even imagine saying, oh, we just open and eat it. We don't think about it. I want you to think about it. Think about what you're putting on your plate. Think about, well, okay, we've got some carbs, we've got some protein, we've got some fat, we've got some fiber. Think about that. That is powerful to understand how to build a complete plate. But then you have companies like this, and I could go on to like Jenny Craig or any of the other companies that sell this prepackaged food. It's teaching you to not think about it. The most powerful thing that you can do is understand how to build a complete plate so that you know that you're fueling your body. These people don't want you to think about it. They just want you to trust their guidance. Learn it for yourself. Learn how to build a complete plate. It is so powerful when you actually understand what to eat, what combinations, why, and how your body is responding through all the data that you collect. It's amazing.
Plug into the mindset. If you do not stay connected to your coach and you do not stay connected to the community, you will fail over and over and over again, and you'll never get to your goal.
I've had enough. I've heard what I needed to from Angela, and the shaking camera, it's driving me crazy, so I'm done. Just wanted to show you guys this. Just wanted to talk about this. I hope that I've dropped some nutrition tips along the way that will help you. I hope that, I don't want to say mindset tweak, you know, when it comes to weighing and weight loss or maintaining or, you know, gaining weight, whatever your goals are. These are not people that you should be listening to when it comes to it, when it comes to your goals. Because Optavia, in my opinion, is going to ruin your relationship with food. You should be able to drive by the Dairy Queen on the way to a massage. And if you would like to have Dairy Queen, go to your massage and then get what you want after and enjoy it without guilt. There's so much joy in food, in sharing food. There's a lot of cultural norms that come with sharing meals and cooking and being together. And when we start eating in a very restrictive way and we start denying things and cutting out whole food groups, we're taking away our joy. So think about that as you come across social media and you're hearing people talk about these things. And I want you to have joy. I want you to have a good relationship with food. I want you to fuel your body properly. I want you to perform well in the gym if you're strength training or whatever you're training for, whether it's walking or just trying to get through your day. I want you to fuel your body properly. That's all I have today. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you. If you haven't already, if you would like and subscribe, that would be amazing. If there's an option to hype the video, if you would do that too. Sometimes it's there, sometimes it's not. And if there's anything that I can do to help with your relationship with food, obviously within my scope, or strength training or things of that nature, make sure that you click the website. It's erinbies.com, and that is listed in the video description. Thank you guys for being here, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye, everybody.